Good evening, welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton and Adam here as we try to be weekly, and it's race season. Are you ready, Adam?
I'm almost ready. I don't like you being higher than me.
Am I higher than you? Well, you always slouch. You know us folks with TV backgrounds, even though your college just announced you as a TV guy when they closed their program, you didn't even take the course. I thought that was cute. But to finish my story, and then we'll get to yours, is you have a thing called headroom in TV, and Adam always has 7 feet of headroom. So you got to get up there. It's the first thing you'd fail in your TV lab.
Is that right?
So let's talk about that. Being... What school did you go? You should be properly framed up. What school did you go to? Was it Fanshawe? Humber?
I went to Humber College for public relations.
And so the Humber College broadcasting just announced they're not going to do it. And they announced all the graduates and all the famous people that came out of the program. And it said NASCAR announcer Adam Ross. And I'm like, dude, you didn't even take broadcasting.
And it was quite a list. Like George Strombolopoulos is on the list. Like, there were a few names that people would recognize than Adam Ross. In fact, it was Dave Bradley that sent me the article because I never would have seen it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. So, we're going to invite Garrett T on today. I'm not even, because you've been the biggest pronunciation snob. This is where it all started. So, for those of you who want 2 Christmases, we have about 8 topics that we're going to fight about. So, you might get your breakup tonight. And as Adam knows, I've been angry dad all day, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully this show can turn around. You've been my talking point. Not my talking point, my coach all day.
What? WWE wrestler Edge went to Humber as well? Because that would have been about the... I think we're around the same age.
He was that bully that flushed you in the toilet when you were a freshman.
It's possible.
Because you weren't always big, strapping, big guy Adam. You were a skinny beanpole Adam when I met you. Sorry, I shouldn't...
That I was. And then life happened.
It makes you feel better. I had jet black hair when we met, and I am nowhere near that anymore. There's
so many things that I don't mind, and I do mind. I do mind that my eyes look so old and tired anymore. I don't care that I have gray hair. I think it looks fine. But something like my eyes bother me.
And you go to bed at 8 o'clock every night, so I don't get it either. But, hey, let's have some fun, Adam. While you were away last week, I picked on you a little bit. I know you don't watch the show, so I could have said anything. And if I didn't tell you, I might have got ratted out, but I'm pretty sure I could have got away with it. So, let's talk about 2 fun topics we had that you weren't a part of. And they were, I asked the fans, and first off, if you're watching here tonight, we need the roll call, where you're from. Like, I don't need to know where Wesley Shaw's from or Fran, we know. But if you're new here, let us know where you're watching from. Adam, 2 things I asked the viewers last week. Racetrack pet peeve. What's your racetrack pet peeve? And what track did you miss? Meaning, what track did you always want to go to but was kind of before your time? Like, for me, that would be a Speedway Park or a Pinecrest. What track did you always want to go to that you never got to see?
I heard amazing things about Flemington.
Okay, yep.
Like, I just heard the place was so damn cool. Yeah, that would be it. And it's kind of off the beaten path. Like, it's not one that people really think about. But, when the people that you look up to share stories, and a lot of stories come up about the same thing. Like, damn. And I learned this as well, Clinton, doing the interviews we did on the weekend. We're going to get to that a little bit later, but I interviewed, 60 some odd drivers.
Yeah.
To hear different drivers talk about the heyday of racing and have them talk about different decades was really cool to me. Because none of them used the decade that I go to. Like, I think the 80s were the best decade for racing. That's when everything was larger than life to me. Super cool. I heard 90s.
I think back then, if you had a bit of a business plan, you could make it work. You know what I mean? Everybody was getting through the racing if you wanted to. It wasn't such a high bar to reach financially, I guess, back would be a better way. It was a lot more junkyards. If you're a mechanic, you could make it happen, right? So I think it's a different time. I like to say to our guys right now at Arch Weekend, we're living the golden age. These are years you're going to tell your kids about. We got 35 cars in some classes. We got full fields every night. The only thing I think we're really lacking is the packed grandstands that they had in the 70s, 80s. But the package we're putting out, and I really feel our guys are going to be able to tell their kids, hey, we lived through a great era and you guys missed it. Or maybe it'll be 10 times better, and that'll be the era they'll be talking about. Let's talk about, when you talk about famous people and they're going through their eras, let's talk about our next guest, Garrett. We met Garrett. He was a super stock era, and then he was the kind of the Val Kilmer Iceman era with the shades, and then he disappeared for a while, and then he was a roofer guy, and then now he's a homeowner building, rebuilding a house, and now he's coming back to late models. So look at in the past 5 years, look how many eras Garrett's had. Welcome.
That's right, Garrett. Garrett's run the full gamut in that time. Garrett, good to have you back, man.
Thanks for having me again, guys. It's been it's been probably a year and a half since I was on the show. It's been too long, but I've got a car in the background behind me, and I'm glad to tell you about it.
Tell us what you're doing. What are your plans for the year?
So my plans are up in the air for a lot of reasons that you just mentioned, actually. But our main goal this year is probably to get back to Sunset Speedway points racing. Our goal is to hit all those points races. I'd love to say let's chase a championship, but we all know it's not realistic usually in your first year in a new division. But we're just looking to build our notebook, get a lot of experience in the pro late model division in the fall. Our team purchased the Jeff Hanley Pro Late that he has built himself. This car, it's a work of craftsmanship, that's for sure. The more that I've worked on this car, the more I've almost realized how much of an amateur I was before. But our plan for this year is to run the Sunset Points races. I am strapped on time for a lot of stuff, so it's good. That's our main goal, and if we can hit other races as well, that's kind of like a bonus almost. The Hanley Classic is also a goal for us at Sunset Speedway, the big 172-lap race. That's, I think, our one that we've tried to circle a little bit. Hopefully at the end of the year, we can get to Autumn Colors, Frost Fest. I don't know, that's all kind of up in the air for me. I really haven't released a lot because I'm not really able to commit to a lot right now. If things need to get done, things need to get done. And the main stuff for me is the big races at Sunset Speedway. And I would love to make it out to Peterborough once or twice, hopefully in the season, as long as time allows as well. That's another side note side goal that I kind of have, to get some experience there. It's a fun track. I love the people there. It's a really good time. And that's kind of our outlook. Maybe sneak in an APC race if we're lucky, but that's all just considered gravy to me right now.
Gary, you were a contender, and then you kind of dropped off the scene. Now, I have you on social, so I see, you become a homeowner. And a lot of guys in your position at your age group tend to be addicted to the racing and don't really set themselves up for life. How tough was it for you to make the mature decisions? And like you said, you don't have a lot of time because you have priorities now. And when you're 18, 19, 20, coming up through the ranks, racing is everything. But then you get to this time when you realize life kicks you in the ass and reality hits in. And if you don't, I think it best we said it before. Tyler McPherson said to me years ago on the dirt side, I don't want to be living in a trailer when I'm 60 because I raced for 20 years. So, you take a step back, you get set. How difficult has that been for you mentally to see things going on around you? The racing doesn't stop because you stopped. How difficult was that? Were you able to go to the races, enjoy it, or were you one of those guys who just kind of like stepped away and I don't want to see it till I'm ready to get back into it?
You know what? Honestly, I'd love to say that it was very hard, but it was probably the best decision I ever made. Between my dad and myself, we work in a roofing company together. We do the racing thing together. And throughout my championship years, when I was doing the videos for the vlogs, you guys, the sponsorships, all of it, between all of my day job and the racing, my weeks were usually 65-hour weeks on average. There was many nights I was going to bed around 2 a.m. on Sunday nights. That way I'd have the video out Monday night. And I neglected a lot of health issues that I have, and I kind of need to take the time to sort that out. And mentally, we all needed a bit of a break. And like you said, other priorities in life, you are getting older, things have to happen. And part of that was I needed to sell the super stock before I was able to buy another race car. And that's a partnership. Obviously, I wouldn't do it without my dad and my family. I'm not going to pretend like I'm just paying for it all myself. But a big part of that was just taking the time to be ready for pro late. When we sold our super stock, it was like a month before race season. And the way that we do things, we don't do things kind of half-assed. I want to make a full effort in order to make my best foot forward when we go racing. And we knew that if I went out and rushed to buy a race car and tried to make it out for that season, it was just going to be a hell of a lot worse for us, to be honest. And taking a step back, the year off, I was able to sort of go in. I refer to myself as like vacation Garrett. It was the first time I had weekends off from racing for the first time since I was 7 years old. Since I've been 7 years old, 15 to 20 weekends a year, I'm at a racetrack racing all the time. And after the championship pushes, the vlogs, all the work, the mental stress of really everything, it was time to take a step back. And honestly, the way I viewed it was, if there was any year to take a step back, it was 2024. Probably, and to put it blunt, it was a down year for racing. There's not a lot of exciting things going on, in my opinion, that was new or interesting to me. And car counts were down, and I kind of said, you know what, if there was any year to miss, it was this year. And it worked out to be perfect because Sunset Speedway and really all the tracks, I think, had 4 or 5 rainouts in the first like 8 or 9 weeks. And there was many times my dad and I looked at each other and we were like, thank God we're not racing this year. We'd be working our asses off not to go to the racetrack. So being that said, throughout the entire year, I was able to say yes to things that I never was able to say yes to with a lot of friends. And I still spent probably 12 or 13 weekends at the racetrack. But when you're spectating, you guys know it's a heck of a lot less work than when you're trying to bring a car or when you're working the job in general. And it allowed me to also get some more things kind of off my bucket list. I kind of said in the back of my head, I'm like, if there's any year where you should get a girlfriend, it should probably be the year when you're not racing. And I ended up actually meeting a girl out of Peterborough Speedway, and we're still together now. And 1 year is coming up in a couple months for us here. And she dragged me to a whole bunch of dirt tracks and racetracks. That's why I went to Brighton for the first time. And she and I decided to go to Humberstone. I actually ran into you, Clinton, there on the closing weekend. And we kind of, at first, I kind of said to her, I'm like, we don't have to go to the races because I don't want to seem crazy or anything. And she was like, what, do you not go to the races? Like, we don't have to if you don't want to. I'm like, well, I guess we're going to the races. So it was really nice to just set myself up for the long term and put myself in a better position mentally. Worked on my health a lot. And realistically, the other reason why I did it was I knew the car market was a little bit down. A lot of people were trying to get out of racing last year. Obviously, the economy took a downturn. There's a lot of stuff in the geopolitical range there. And so all throughout the summer, I just planted little seeds here and there about, hey, I'm looking for a pro late in the fall. I'm not gone. I'm just looking for a pro late. And by the end of the year, I had a bunch of people reaching out to me trying to buy their pro lates. So by the time the right one came along, it was for a very good price and a very good deal. And Jeff Hanley was looking to retire from racing, and he gave me everything. We ended up getting a spare engine, all of his rims and tires, and spare everything, to be honest. Spare control arms, spare bumpers. Well, sorry, not a spare bumper. The car came with no bumper after he got rid of that at the last race. But it came with everything that I need to go racing, to have a full effort. It came with a great engine. The car probably has, I don't know how much it has. I haven't asked them exactly. But if I had to guess, it's probably a year and a half of racing on the car. The engine in it is less than a year old. So I got myself a really good piece that I can compete with at a high level. And as long as the funding is there, there's no excuse why I shouldn't be winning races with this car at some point.
Garrett, we won't keep you too long, but in 2 minutes or less, I want you to talk about your outlook this year. You need to have confidence in order to race well, but you also need to have humility so that the veterans in the division don't swallow you up and abuse you.
Yeah.
How do you balance those two things, and how much of your experience with the super stock and that your family has in late model racing in years past will transfer over to the pro late?
I got to say, this is a new experience for all of us, my dad included. He never raced cars with coilovers. My uncle Derek raced super late models into the early 2010s, and bump stops were kind of new back then. And so he was getting out of racing. So really, this is a very new experience for myself and my dad. However, like you said, you have to have confidence. And my dad and I, for the last 3-4 years, have been paying attention to the pro lates very closely, probably more than most pro late guys would have liked to have known when I was walking by their trailers as a super stock racer. Because the idea and the goal was to go pro late racing 5 years ago. It was just a matter of making the timing work. So we have a good understanding, I suggest, of a good starting point. It's more just about finding the right combinations of things. But like you said, it's all about the confidence. And the competition in super stock when I was racing was second to none other than the APC series, which was even that much higher. So for me, it's almost like it's just the next step. I think there was no other series in Ontario. There still, I think, is no other series in Ontario. Maybe Legends cars now that would have prepared me for the level of competition of pro late model racing. But we've definitely done our homework. We've probably watched 100 Port City videos and DRP videos online on the racing engineering, and you pick up little bits of information. When I'd be parked beside a pro late, I would make sure to see what's on their front end just to take note, and, just see what they look like. And then now that I've got my own car, it's almost like, okay, so that's what that was, and this is what this was. And it's almost like a reverse engineering of it all. But we've got a pretty good idea. We actually, when we first tested the car in October, I know I'm talking longer than you guys asked for, but it all matters to me. When we tested the car in October, Jason Hathaway and his team were there with a pro late doing a sponsor run. They allowed their sponsor to take it out, and they kind of gave us a little bit of direction as well of where to go with some springs and gears, etc. Just ideas that got us in the ballpark compared to maybe what we got with the car, because what we got with the car was a very different direction compared to what most people are running now. But I think this mentality on this year is, let's go have fun racing again, and let's build a notebook so we can go win some freaking races, because I want to be a pro late model champion someday.
I think your work ethic and the skills you guys are bringing and the way you're doing it is going to transfer from one division to the next. I don't think anybody has any doubts of where you're going to end up, Garrett. When you plan on hitting the track, and where can some of our viewers maybe, you're not doing the full social media thing, but where can they find you on Facebook or maybe Insta to keep up with what's going on? So 2 questions. When and where? When are you on the track, and where can we find you?
The goal is to be on track this Saturday. As long as the weather holds up, we'll be out testing this weekend. I already got my tires all mounted up. We were working on the race car tonight, finishing up, the bolt checks and clean the chassis. I got to put stickers on it still, but, that might not happen for testing. So this Saturday, and if it doesn't, hopefully Sunset has testing this weekend still on Sunday. Either way, this weekend we're back into the racing scene. And you can follow it all online at Garrett217, spelled like my name on the right side bar there. And that's on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can search me up at Garrett T. we have a motorsports group, which is just the Teamersma Motorsports group, where you can hear about anything and everything we're doing for racing. I won't be doing video content this year, simply from a time constraint, and I really enjoy doing it, but it truly, the way I want to do things, like I said, I don't do things kind of half-assed. I want to go all out, and the way I want to do it, I don't have time to do it this year. I'll be doing little things here and there. I'll still be posting lots of Instagram reels and just talking to the camera, letting you guys know what's up. But pay attention for me at Sunset Speedway. Hopefully a trip or two to Peterborough this year. And then obviously the year-end bangers, which we all know and love.
Oh, Garrett, what a gift. You said your last name twice in about 15 seconds, and I expect Spencer to pull that clip out. So I'm so tired of people fighting me over the way I say I say it like you say it. Teamers.
There you go. And it's the easiest way to think about it. I know the problem is in the Dutch language, the I and the E is opposite to the English language. So it's just like, think of my name as it was like T-E-I, you know, you got to think Team Erzma. You know, it's very much opposite in their language, but I appreciate you guys putting the effort in, Adam, especially because you're one of the few announcers in maybe 30 years of Teamersma Racing who's gotten it right. I know you tried, Clint. I know you, Clint.
I don't even try to call you Garrett T now. So Garrett or Garrett T, that's it. You know, I actually had to look it up on Facebook and make sure I spelt it right for the rundown to make sure we weren't screwed up. Because I think if I can't say it, I damn well better be able to spell it. So
yeah.
Thank you, Garrett Teamersma. Is that right?
You got it, man. You got it.
All right. He said I got it, Adam. You know, we fought over Motorama. That's how picky this guy's getting. Thanks, Garrett. Hey, it's great to have you back. One of the personalities here, you bring a lot to the sport with your attitude, positive performance. It's great to have you back in, man. Good to have you back. Glad to see you get set up, and we hope to talk to you, like I say, for all my buds, for the right reasons. So go knock one out for us.
Thanks for having me again, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show, and hopefully I'll be talking to you again soon.
Good to see you, Garrett.
Thank you. Everybody. Thanks for coming out.
That was the first time ever, because I've asked him to say his name before, and he says it so fast, it's hard to prove one way or another. But, I mean, there's even people like sponsors that have been on his car forever. I had a disagreement with one of his sponsors because I tried to sell him truck tires. And he says, maybe, but you got to start saying that. What's that?
When did you get so crusty about that?
It was right around the time that I talked to Mr. Way from Way Freight. He says, start calling him to Mearsville. I said, if I call him to Mearsville, will you buy tires from me? He never bought tires from me.
Because you tried to correct him. All right. Thanks, Garrett, for stopping by. A couple other guests. Adam, we reached out to the Dirt World. Trying to get some people. Maryville's kicking off this weekend. I messaged Gary Lindbergh. He said, hey, man, sorry we're out for dinner tonight. And my buddy Justin Sharp, I messaged Sharpie today and said, hey, man, can you come on the show tonight? He said, sorry, I'm out with Addie at soccer. Thanks for the invite. Addie's his daughter. And he says, but I'll make you a deal. I'm going to win Saturday, and I'll see you next Tuesday. And I said, good. That sounds like a good deal. So Maryville kicks off their 5-division show this weekend. Maryville's on it. They also have an Easter egg hunt Friday, Good Friday. Check out their website. And the food is open. Maryville Eats is open also. So you get the the smokers, the chicken, the pizza, the ice cream. Oof, it's all there, man. Maryville's a great spot. Check it out. As Garrett said, Sunset is practicing this weekend, and APC has practice this weekend at Delaware. So as we said, it's officially race season. What do you want to go, Adam? We'll play like some pyramid style here. You get to pick the topic. Do you want to go to promo shoots recap? Do you want to talk about social scammers? Or do you want to talk about the economics of the Speedway?
Let's jump into social scammers. It's an important topic, and I think we can get a little bit fired up about it.
Spencer, if you got the pictures I just sent you, throw the T-shirt up first. So there's lots of groups on Facebook.
We should have just titled this part, People Suck.
Yeah, pretty much. So this T-shirt, okay? and I'm not picking on Ransville Speedway. In fact, I'm trying to defend Ransville Speedway here. So scammers will go find an old image. They purport that they're going to be selling you a T-shirt, and great place to be remembered. You click on the link, and what happens? You get scammed. You're going to send them your money. You're going to go through this. This is a constant thing. So you take that down, Spence. If you're going to buy T-shirts, especially on these Facebook sites, make sure you're dealing with the people. Communicate with them. Talk it through. And make sure that, they're real people and that you're not getting ripped. Same thing we talked about with the fire suit situation. You need to talk to somebody. Before I send somebody money, I want to know about it. Another situation happened. So yesterday at Oswego Speedway, the World of Outlaws posted 30 days till the Outlaws come to Oswego, till we return to Canada. We reposted that on the Speedway site. Immediately, we got a bunch of people commenting and saying, hey, I have tickets for sale. I can't go to this event. Who wants to buy tickets? So it turns into, and they also go on when we're doing some live broadcasts. They'll be on there trying to sell stuff too. And so I messaged this woman last night. And I'll just read you back and forth. I could have sent Spencer 10 pages. Show the QR code, Spencer. So this is the QR code she tried to sell me for a race at Oswego Speedway. And what you notice, she's saying, I can't give you the info. I don't want to see it. But I said to her, the email has no date on it. It has no event on it. There's no way to know this is even for the event. So I sent her this message. Hey there, I see you're trying to get rid of tickets for Oswego Speedway. What do I have to do to get them? She says, I have 4 tickets available. I can e-transfer to you. Can you show them to me? She says, they're legit. I can just e-transfer them. I can transfer them to your email. I said, okay, amazing. Obviously, I'm playing along trying to, and Adam, I love messing with scammers.
Oh, yeah.
I work at my home desk a lot of days during the day, and I got time.
You got a fish on the line.
Right. So I says, how much do you want for them? She says, how much is your budget for each? So right away I know now you're really full of shit. I said, I was thinking $5 each. They're a $65 ticket, by the way. The response is 10 each. I said, okay, send them over and I'll send you the funds as soon as I know they're real. Payment up front, I can't send them before security reasons. I said, what security reasons? I don't want to lose my ticket. I said, okay. She says, just send the money and I'll send them over. I said, okay, awesome. Send them over and I'll send the funds. We're playing this. Finally, she says, I can't trust you. Oh, really? I said, if you can show me even one picture of even something that looks like a valid ticket, I'll pay double the ticket price for these tickets because I want to go to the event so bad. Well, they already showed you the email notification, so stop asking me to see the tickets. Then she sent me the QR code that's all scribbled out. And I said, she said, we don't have to argue about this. They're legit tickets. And I said, okay, how much should you pay for them? And then she said, never mind. Somebody wants them already. And I said, haha, sure, scammer. And then she blocked me. So don't get suckered into these deals. People suck, as you said, Adam. And it's a warning to you. We immediately scrubbed all of those. So the action we took from the Speedway side, we deleted all those comments immediately through our social media team. And now we made it, you have to be a member of the Speedway Facebook group to be able to post. So they shouldn't just be able to pick and choose on you. But there are scammers out there, Adam, and you know that I get emails probably once a month from the same office, I'm sure. My email must be in their thing. It's been from Geek Squad, Norton Antivirus, PayPal. And what it is they say, oh, you made your account has been debited $49.99 US or $300.99. You call in, then they want to know what your email is, what your credit card was, so they can reverse your charges, which is how they get your numbers and they screw you over. Don't fall into it. I block my number. I change all the invoices we're talking about, and they're just full of shit. So that would be a fun deal.
So did you get her email address?
No, they blocked me in it. But if I had to say, okay, what's your email, they would have given me an email address to send funds to. I wanted to see how far I could get to actually see the tickets because, I want to know what they're trying to sell out there. But there are still lots of good tickets available. Pit tickets will be $65 at the gate. We only have 2 divisions, which means we've got 3 divisions full of pit space for everybody to be there. We will not sell at the pits at Oswego Speedway. We do have lots of tickets out front, too, for the Outlaws events. So just, I guess that leads us into the next one, which would be the economics of the Speedway, Adam. Last week we talked a bit about what it takes to get it done. Show that page, Spencer, I showed of the economics of the Speedway. People ask what it costs to bring the Outlaws in, and a lot of it is the other promoters asking. So, Adam, here's the Oshweekend, and there's a spelling mistake on it, even better. So look at World of Outlaws on the top line there. U.S. 2 nights, $99,225 U.S. dollars to bring the Outlaws to Canada. That is crazy kind of money. Then you look at the exchange rate as it was last night when I made this chart. It costs 141% to buy this money. So now we're looking at 140 U.S. when you look at the conversion, plus the 10 grand for the late models. Then you go into the next night, same price, U.S. converted another 140. Throw in the 10 grand for the modifieds. And we're at a total Canadian purse of $300,000 for 2 days at Oshweekend. So it is not a cheap deal to bring the Outlaws in. If you wonder why the other tracks won't do it, I mean, if we didn't have Glenn's backing, I don't think we would even be doing it either. It's a crazy amount of money, and that's why, we need 4,500 people there to break even. And I'm confident the weather's great. We're going to be great. I mean, we've got good money, but I don't think anybody really understands the kind of money. They just think, it's like booking the modified tour, booking the ROC Sportsman. It is a crazy amount of money. In fact, let me tell you, it costs us 100 Canadian for NASCAR, and we're 50% more to bring the Outlaws in.
How big is the Outlaws purse per night? Do you know?
That's a $12,000 to win, all U.S. money. That's a 12 grand to win U.S. and a 15 grand to win U.S. for the second night. Each night pays $1,200 U.S. to start. So for like our 360 teams, maybe that are trying to do a start and park and bringing the knife to a gunfight, if they can just qualify with the exchange rate back, they're going to make over $3 grand for just last place both nights if they can get in.
Yeah.
Another along those lines, as we're talking about it, another one who sent me a message today was Corey Turner. We ready Corey to come on. I failed today. I was supposed to get the dirt guest, and I tried 3 and struck out. But we do have lots to talk about. Here's some news for the Corey Turner fans. Hey, Clint, I'm sorry I can't tonight. I'm headed out to the shop. Our 410 car is behind, and our 360 we have not fired off yet. Maybe we have room next week. So I did not know Corey Turner had potential for a 410 car for the Outlaw shows. So that's another one we can add to the list along with the other ones we've talked about. I think we could be closing in on 25 410s right now. I think we could be, 32 to 36 total cars for the sprint cars, which is badass. Better than we could have hoped. I know people are asking for a list of competitors. We've got the 16 platinum drivers. Well, we'll try and get that out, an approximate list. Maybe I get Tommy Gooch on that to figure out who's going to be coming. Tyler asked what's going on with Friesen. That deal is in the works. I'm hearing he's maybe doing some 360 stuff down in the States before this race with the Steyer's crew. Glenn has engine concerns about the 410s, is what I've told. I'm giving you guys mega inside information. I hope I'm not letting this out. There's only got so many 410s. He's got some on order. Glenn was going to use one in his 410 for himself. The other one he was going to put in his asphalt sprint car. But he has now pulled back on his April-May asphalt sprint car stuff. So as I was standing in the shop today with Lee Winger, I said, well, that's a 410, and that's a 410. Does that mean Friesen's going to be in the show? Lee told him about the 360 stuff to try and do. I think it's at Fulton in a week or two. So I believe Stuart Friesen's going to be in that show. If I get my passport done, I told you, Adam, I'm supposed to go down and hang out with Stuart and T-Mac and the boys this weekend down at Fonda. So I hope to bring that finalized answer back next weekend, but I think we're going to see Stuart in the show. Tyler. Where are we going from here? Okay, a couple things. How about let's just talk about recap, and then we'll get into some fun videos around the world. We had our promo recaps. Our promo this weekend, we're going to recap that a bit, Adam. Talked to 60 drivers among the APC and Oshweekend teams. All the divisions featured on G-Force. Got a bit of love. It's a big budget thing we do. And you did a great job, man. I got to tell you here on the show, as much as I bust your balls, I thought you were fantastic. I sat on a few of the interviews. I thought they were great. I really like how it's all coming about. I can't wait to see how these are all going to play. But just being able to sit down with the drivers, and I think we able to learn so much more about them. So we do 2 stations. We do like a beauty shot, we call it, where they kind of do the pro stuff. And we bring in the TSN people like Nigel and Dave, who just did our stuff on the weekend for 2 days. They were doing the Blue Jays, the CFL. They do NASCAR every year. Like, we bring in the best guys to make this work. Can we show some of the beauty shots, Spencer, what the promo stuff looks like? Here's Josh Stoddy. Obviously, this is me filming the TV screen. So this isn't clear cut. This is me just taking pictures. Brett Stratford, our crate champ. So these are videos. How about this? The Baker boys, Keegan and Campbell. Campbell on the left, Keegan, his bigger brother. Both Campbell, Kendra Adams jumping on the APC, her first shot at the promo shoots. Looking good along with Jake and Nikki there. And race director David Hunsinger. Imagine those eyes looking down on you when he makes a call. I'm hoping we get to use these shots. Dave was hanging around. We're like, get in front of that camera. And, of course, this is going to be the breakout star of the year, Adam. Cammie Thompson. I'm calling it right frickin' now.
The kid's got it all.
Breakout star.
More so than anything, he's got the passion.
What I like about Cammie is the charisma I see in this kid that's starting to develop as he gets a bit older and more mature. Super polite, always smiling, good-looking kid, a camera's dream. I hope his performance kicks ass so we can keep pumping up his tires like he deserves. Great. I mean, comes from a great stock of family. His sister Haley's been with us forever. It's just watch out for the 2018 in the crates this year. Then we jumped into the other side. Go ahead.
I really enjoyed the interview with Kent, and thank you for the kind words. You didn't give me a chance to thank you for that. I don't get to talk to drivers very much. I talk about them all season. There were some, I'm glad they had names on their pieces of paper they brought in, because I didn't naturally know who everybody. I knew who most of them were, but there's one or two I thought I would have had no idea.
Yeah, I think I think it really shows the guys off, and the girls too. Like even Jillian Hills. How cool is that to have Jillian in there kicking ass, looking good, great smile. I mean, I just think everybody's gonna come off so good in this. Spencer, do you have the other pictures of the other set of Adam's set at all? I only took a couple stills of it, but we had them set up in the second chair, and you did a face-to-face interview with them. I thought it was really good. Maybe I didn't send it to Spencer. I think I just sent it to you, Spencer, on the side account. But maybe not. No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. I'll get it to you in a minute. All right. Unless I feel bad now because I was talking about what I did. I'll send it to you while we get the next segment going.
We learned from some of the things that we did last year and thought, okay, this didn't work because of this, but if we make this change, I just think where last year maybe we got 30 usable shots, 60 usable shots. I think this year we're going to have 150.
I put them in the dump, Spencer, so check them out if you can. While he does that, let's go to the Larson embarrassing. This was Larson on the Happy Harvick show, talking about how he was trying to embarrass NASCAR because he's mad that they're not letting them. Well, let's just let Kyle Larson tell it. Roll the clip of Larson.
In Xfinity, I do get motivated, and this is going to come across like very cocky, but I want to embarrass them, honestly. Like, I want to embarrass NASCAR a little bit because they just don't let Cup guys run anymore. And the kids, like, they probably think they're in a good spot and like they don't know where the bar is really at. So I like to go run those Xfinity races and just get 10-second leads to let them realize that they've got a lot of room to improve. And I think that's only better for our sport. When those young guys can compete with Cup guys, they're better suited for the Cup Series once they get there. Yes, I want to smash the field when I run Xfinity.
I love that.
That's motivating for me for sure.
Well, I appreciate stealing that from Harvard. What do you think of that, Adam? I think he brings up a damn good point. You're giving these kids a false sense of security that, I'm whipping their ass, and then Larson comes in there and he absolutely wipes the floor with you. What do you think?
I think it's awesome. I'm glad he's comfortable to talk like that in any setting, because if anybody was going to censor themselves, it would be Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
But I'm almost disappointed in the way the broadcast team covers the weekends, because their whole focus is Kyle Larson in a three-peat. Like, wait, you still got to run the flipping races. You know, it's fine to talk about. It turns out it would have been true, but how can you say that on a Friday when you haven't even qualified for Xfinity or Cup yet? And they're talking about him winning all three. If I were the other 80 teams in attendance, I'd be like, hey, we're here too. But the flip side of that coin is Kyle Larson making the point, yeah, you're here too, but you're not good enough yet.
Yeah. No, I thought it made sense a little bit there. All right, show those pictures, Spencer. We got them now. Just show the second set that Adam was working on. So we had Adam face-to-face with drivers. It was a lot darker than that, well lit. That was just so we could show you kind of what it looked like. So that was kind of cool. You know, these are, I feel, other reasons why we can get people to come to Ush Weekend Speedway and race with us, and why people would choose Ush Weekend is because we take these extra efforts to put them out there. So I want to thank all the teams that came down, the APC guys. Like a guy like Josh Dottie, who drives 3 hours each way for a 20-minute situation with us, is greatly appreciated by us. Another reason I feel teams want to come with us, Adam, something I'm very proud of, is we got our championship rings for the last couple of years all delivered today. So any of the champs for the last couple of seasons, since the pandemic, we've been having trouble getting the rings. We got them back on track. Everything's there. It took 5.5 months to get them in this time. We got a new plan for the fall, but I just want to show off. Championship rings came in today, and they are freaking gorgeous. This would be Ryan Beagle's championship ring. They're just awesome. Gorgeous kind of, camera won't pick it up, but lots of stones on there. It's just a gorgeous
and they're
piece.
Huge.
Nice heavy ring. So proud to get them for those guys. I know Corey Turner's been waiting a little bit. Ryan Beagle, these guys, we'll get them off to them. I've got them all, so I'll be talking to everybody here in the next week of practice to get them the championship rings. So we're proud of that too. Where are we going to go from here now? How about let's look at a video of Dale Jr. recapping the 8 situation. And we talked a bit about last week while you were away, you know, Lamar Jackson suing Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the rights to the use of the 8. Did you follow that story at all?
No.
Okay, we'll play it, Spencer, now and get caught up to speed. Ask questions at the end.
The 8 trademark situation with Lamar Jackson, to kind of give a timeline, if you will. So we learned that the Budweiser number 8 trademark is not going to be continued and renewed by Teresa. Haven't talked to Teresa, don't know why that was her decision, but we saw an opportunity to pick up the number, see if we could get the trademark. Without the trademark, we can run the number. Anyone can. We can use the number, no problem. Did we have a trademark for the current number 8 Junior Motorsports number that we've been running since 2019? No, there was no trademark for that number. So we filed for the Bud 8 trademark. We have succeeded in that process, and as a backup plan, filed for the trademark on the Junior Motorsports number 8 that Josh Berry and all those guys have been running for the last couple of years. Well, I learned on social media about the same time as everybody else did that Lamar was contesting our trademark application. He wasn't suing me. He's just contesting it, and there's a part of the trademark process where if you believe somebody's applying for a trademark and it's going to hurt your brand, you can oppose it, right, and say, hey, I need this. I need y'all to look at this first. Well, when I learned about it, I thought for sure it was over the Bud 8. But when I dug into it, I learned that it was that Junior Motorsports font. And we weren't ever going to use that again, ever. And so after some conversations with Kelly and our team, they're like, yeah, we're going to abandon that. And so, yeah, it's not an issue. It's a non-issue. A lot of people thought it was obviously the Bud 8. I did too initially until I dove into it. And so social media got all riled up and pissed off for a bit. I didn't want to see this get nasty for no reason. And so, all that got.
So, Adam, the discussion last week was Lamar Jackson was saying that the number 8 font that Dale Jr. was using looked a lot like his trademark number 8, which still seems ridiculous. The trademark office would even give a trademark on a number. That's like saying Adam trademarked the letter A. A? Well, like, I didn't make much sense. We had a bit of a discussion last week. But there explains it. So now the 8 styling he used on his Budweiser cars, they now have that trademark. And what it comes down to, like you said, you can use it. I think they could use it, but you can't be selling T-shirts and making money off of it unless you have the trademark for that font. So that's where that went.
People with more money and lawyers than.
Yeah.
But the timeline.
But
look at the timeline.
Well, the whole joke was that was the joke. Junior, like they were saying, here's Junior racing this in the early 2000s, and where's Lamar Jackson? He was playing with, plush toys because he was 2 years old. So
Yeah.
how the hell did Dale Jr. take that? There's a bit of confusion either way.
I
Right?
don't know. I don't know if there's a documentary on Teresa Earnhardt, but I hope there's going to be. And I hope it is fully honest and people can see all that has transpired.
You know what I
all
learned
the
from Al Glenn's truck driver? Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Steyer's NASCAR hauler that he hauls his NASCAR stuff in, if you go inside it, it's all red, black, and silver. That was Dale Earnhardt's hauler. And the way they know that is because they bought it from Hendrick, or from Childress. But at one point, and you can look back to history, one of the top cars in the top broke loose on RCR and crashed through the closet in the lounge. And that's all still busted up when they got it. So at one point, Dale Earnhardt had that hauler that Glenn has now. It's still an interesting side story for the 3 fans here in Ontario.
That's cool.
You know what my pet peeve is? And we can talk about this before we get in a picture drop and then some videos of the week. Actually, we have a shit ton of videos of the week. We should probably do that. But quickly, my pet peeve is interviews. Okay, Adam? So your driver's getting his interview. He wins. Girlfriend runs in right in the middle of the interviewer and pulls him away, gives him a hug. Crew chief, family comes in. Why can't you just let him finish his interview? Do you know what I'm talking about? I got to get an example. Where they bust in and just scream and hug the guy when he's in the middle of thanking his sponsors or doing his thing. It just frustrates me. Like, do you have to get into that moment? To me, it seems like, I don't know. That's my pet peeve. Maybe because I'm the guy usually doing the interviewing.
You're a monster. I'm a monster. You're a monster. Let them come in and celebrate. I love that sort of thing.
You do?
Yep.
I mean, in time,
it's like. Listen, you want to? It's natural. You want me to talk about pet peeves? And I've almost dropped a couple of F-bombs saying that's so out of character for me. Drivers,
do it.
Take your goddamn helmets off.
When
like you
fighting?
Stand up and you celebrate. What kind of a now? If you're gonna fight, whatever. But if you're gonna get up and celebrate, take your helmet off. Your face is important. That's what people want to see. I don't care what your helmet looks like. I don't understand why so many people do it.
I got something to say for you. If you're handing somebody a Canadian or American flag, you better give them instructions.
Oh, that makes me mental.
That flag does not. On that fire.
A national flag.
So what we're talking about is we've been at races where someone gives them the national flag, and the guy's dragging it on the ground as he's hugging the crew and that. Now I'm like, the flag can't touch the ground.
Yeah.
Not wrong. You know what I learned when I was in Daytona last year camping? And they take it super seriously in the States, and I've never heard of it here. You can't fly the stars and bars in America at night unless you have a light on your flagpole. You cannot fly that flag in the dark. I didn't know that. That was something I learned from some of the Americans. And that's why when you go to NASCAR races, they all have the lighted flagpoles, and the ones that don't, they take them down at dusk. I didn't know that. I thought that was interesting.
There is a lot of protocol to the flag and a lot of respect involved. And we're so many generations removed from people dying for our flag that sadly it's forgotten. But it's up to people like us, Clinton, to pass that along. I believe you had family that served in the war.
Yeah.
I
All
did
three
not.
of my grandfathers did.
but I still know how important it is. And I think we need to share that along and explain it to people. And
Yeah, Fran and Randy. Randy, you're from Texas, man. That's your homework. We need flag etiquette. Can you fly at night without a light? I was told that in Florida. I wasn't about to argue. I was in America. I just did what I was told, drank my Budweiser, and shut the hell up, Canadian boy. That's your homework, Fran. All right, yours too. Anyways, what I'm saying is, I'm going to find an example of where it's bad. The other thing, since we're talking about interviews, drivers, when you're being interviewed, do not turn your back to the camera to read the sponsors off your car. It's your job to know them. Nothing looks sloppier or more amateurish than you turning your back to the camera going, Johnny, Paul, Tony's Garage. Am I wrong, Adam? And maybe we're trying to be too professional here, but come on, guys. You got to know that.
I don't mind that too much. I mind more when they look at the camera. Here's a free piece of advice. Do with it what you want, race car drivers. When you are being interviewed, it is always appropriate to look at the person interviewing you. You never have to look at the camera. In fact, you shouldn't look at the camera unless you are really confident in what you're about to try to say. To all you watching at home, maybe that would work if you look at the camera, but otherwise, look at the person interviewing you, not at the camera.
Yeah, it just hit me like a kick in the balls. Listen to us pompous assholes tell people how to act when they're in their best moments. Who the frig are we?
I said to Daniel on the weekend, I don't like that we have a person right in front of our winner. Our camera operator blocks the winner from the grandstand. And I wish there was another way to do it, but I don't know that there is.
I mean, we can twist a little bit, but you're 75 yards away. Does it really make a difference?
At the very least, we should start doing it sideways, so people can see.
You should buy Jack an invisibility suit, and then people can just look right through it.
This is what happens when I share my opinion. I don't shit on your opinion. I don't give a rat's ass if someone reads sponsors off their car. But I'm going to say, oh yeah, Clint, that's right. People shouldn't read sponsors off their. I'm going to agree with you for this. Screw you. They can read whatever they want off their car. They can climb back in their car and get a freaking playbook out if they want and read what they should say next. I don't give a shit, Clint.
You're mean. You made me feel bad for what I said now.
No, I didn't.
I stand behind it. It goes the same way. Okay, you don't want the camera guy in front, but you want his back to the crowd while he reads shit off the side of the car?
Yeah. At least he's not looking at the camera.
Crazy talk. Now you're just talking crazy talk. All right.
If they're moving around, they're not going to stay turned around. They're going to turn back. Have you seen the Bob Dylan movie?
No, I haven't yet.
Good movie.
No, but I love all those movies.
There's one scene in it.
All the musical history stuff is great.
I didn't know how much Johnny Cash intertwined with Bob Dylan. Very interesting, if it's true. But it was good. It was good for the story. But he's on stage with Joan Baez, and he gets pissed off at something. So he just turns around, walks back 5 steps, and keeps on singing with his back to the crowd. No microphone. And she's looking at her like, what the hell? What the hell? That was his.
Nick Erskine says, you really don't plan what you're going to say until you get in front of the camera. Sometimes it goes good. Sometimes your brain's all over the place. Should a driver be practicing his sponsor speech, Adam?
Yeah, you should.
That's my point. You should know the 8 guys' names you need to say. Or
in the moment,
don't name names. That's the first rule of broadcasting. Don't name names. You will always forget somebody.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into videos of the week. We got lots of them.
Get into videos.
We got pictures to still look at, and we're going to be way over time. All right. Picture drop first, Spencer. We only got a few of those, and then we're going to have some video fun. See what we got in the old picture. Oh, do you know what this is, Adam?
Nope.
You never seen that car before?
Nope.
This is Tim Richmond in a super
Okay.
modified that was built with 3 wheels on one side and 1 wheel on the left side. And this thing was apparently pretty damn fast in its opening foray. And Oswego Speedway banned it very quickly and said we cannot have these monstrosities of 3-in-1. It'll change the landscape of super modified racing forever. They banned it. It was cut up and never driven again. Just a unique piece of history there. I can't believe you never saw that car. As big of I knew about that car.
No, I hadn't. My mom and dad met at Oswego Speedway, but my dad got so mad because he believed there shouldn't be a rule book for super modifieds.
Okay.
That's the point. They
so
put
Bob
like left side
like that.
Yeah.
Bob would have let that go.
I don't know if he would have let it go, but I know he was pissed off when they came in with the left side weight rule, and but there were reasons for that. Things were getting real expensive and real exotic.
Yep, as they usually do. What else we got, Spence? Kenny Wallace got mad at NASCAR fans this week, and he actually dropped the F word. Y'all need to take a massive effing break from bitching and moaning about the NASCAR race. Ain't nobody worried about that bullshit. The effing place fits 155,000 people. You dumbasses never stop. Wow. You don't really see Kenny Wallace dropping the F-bomb like that. 2 in 1 post. That was over people squawking about the Bristol crowd, right? It looks light. They got banners across the bottom. But they can still have 80,000 people there, and it still looks like it's more than half empty because it seats 155, 60 people.
And it'd be hard for them to do what Daytona did and remove half the seating and call it for a better fan experience because it's the Coliseum. It has to have all that seating. Or I don't know how they
magic. Got to get it back. All right, what else, Spence? How about this? Unique facts. 769 dirt tracks in the U.S. There are more than 80,000 drivers that race on dirt before nearly 1.3 million fans every weekend from February to November. That represents 52 million dirt track tickets a year, more than NASCAR, NBA, NFL, and NHL combined. Then why the hell can't we get the proper play we need from the media? It's all there. We've got the numbers.
I think that's part of why we've got more attendance is because we still are a sport where you got to go and see it. You got to be there.
Yep.
Which sounds ironic because I'm part of GeForce TV, so I'm happy if you're not there, but you're still watching. But you've really got to be there. Motorsport is the most successful grassroots sport in terms of fan following, in terms of corporate involvement, business involvement, and sponsorship. You look at AAA ball clubs. Look at the minor leagues. They're professional athletes. Like, they are very, very good at what they do. Nobody shows up to watch them. I mean, you could fire a cannon through most of those stands. Hockey's a little bit different. Hockey, they do get some following in different places for the minor leagues. But racing is different.
Like at Oshweekend, our goal, I guess, would be to be one of the top level, like OHL or AHL teams, where you're pulling in 3,000 fans to 5,000 fans every race would be a great thing for us. I had talked to Mike Morris about working on some initiatives. We can talk about next week how to increase viewership around the world on GeForce. They may not come in as actual fans, but if we can get more people watching, helps the sport all around. And let's make it very clear what you said there, Adam. We are not trying to drive people out of the grandstands at GeForce. It's exactly the opposite. We feel if people can find us, like a Randy who's watching us from Texas every week, this show, the other show, I'm sure with Randy comes up to, and there he says looking into getting flights to Canada, come to the Big O this year. If you do, please let us know, Randy. Look us up on Facebook. We'll make sure you have a hell of an experience. But that is the goal, to be a destination place. Those 30,000 viewers every week are going to turn into some viewers. And if we can keep guys like Randy flying in from Texas, obviously that's not going to make the bank every year, but it helps push the long-term goal. which is drive more people in. I go back to the Maple Leafs and the Bills. We all watch it, but the minute we can get there, we get there.
Sven, are you going to do it or am I?
I don't know.
Alvers, if you're done with 1970, it's 2025, my friend. People aren't going to the horse races anymore.
Yeah. They're going maybe off-track betting, but...
Even
Robert Hill says, great. If you need tickets, Randy, I hear there's ladies selling for Facebook for $10 each.
That's perfect.
That's good enough, Robert. Sorry, I'm still a bit under the weather. Let's go. Let's go next pick.
Horse racing is much like car racing. A lot of the venues have closed up. Look, we used to have Greenwood, was it, in Toronto? It was a huge deal in the sports papers. There was, what was the one down by you?
Down by me?
Down by
40
40
Raceway. 40
Greenwood, Flamborough. Like, there was a bunch. Now there's Woodbine still there. Flamborough's still there, but a lot of them
I think Mohawk's the one up there. Is it Mohawk? Off the highway? Yep. You drive by and it's like a half mile or a mile track. I'm like, man, we got to turn it into a dirt track. It's got all the facilities. That's what I want to do. We need the next Kenny Hill to come along and buy one of these horse tracks that's all set up with the concourse and all that we can just turn into a dirt track. Make it happen. All right. We still got a lot to get through. We got to get moving here. All right. Picture, Spencer. What else we got? I think it's a good junior. Oh, there's that. Junior Hanley. We showed an Ed Howe car last week, Adam, from this same era, and we had to get a Junior Hanley one in. What a gorgeous piece. All right. I think we must be on the videos now, right, Spence? Roll them. Let's have some fun. Yeah, that's the one, Nathan. Guelph in 401. Mohawk. Roll them, Spence. This looks like a good fun. Rednecks with paychecks. Not that particular part of the party, but you get the picture. Alright, we'll go on to this. Rednecks with paychecks looks like a wild situation. All right, keep going.
Well, we have had a major crash here at Talladega right in front of us. And
the one where Mark Martin got
the biggest scare was Mark Martin.
You see it here. Now watch him. He hits the inside retaining wall. That's the car up in the middle of your screen. Hits the Die Hard 500 sign. Shoots through a guardrail right here. Goes right on through it. Mows it down. Still at top speed and hits another fence and then the guardrail and finally comes to rest.
That appear to be disabled besides Mark Martin. That's Bodine and Burton, and there
he damn near ended up in the campground.
Mark Martin getting out of the car.
Yeah, that's good.
The crotch belt got him. I remember that from being a kid.
Yikes. Show the other NASCAR one now, Ken Spence. Same type of thing where he jumps the wall. I don't remember that one, Adam.
Already going into turn number one, the 59 slides over the wall, jumps over the wall, and is going to hit on the other side. How about the 59 of Buster Graham?
Yeah, look how fast he was going, and somehow it leaped over the wall instead of driving into it.
Do you remember Jimmy Johnson's crash at Watkins Glen where he skimmed right over the top of the sand trap?
Yeah.
The sand trap that's meant to slow you down, but he was airborne over it.
Look at those cars. Just look like tennis balls bounce around. All right, Spence, what else? Do we have the guy Pocono running across the track? Oh, this is Rico. What he's doing for hand-eye coordination. Cool to see how the drivers are, doing some off-season workouts. Trying to hit all the points as they pop up. All right, keep them coming. Yeah, this one.
Wow. Oh my gosh, somebody did that on a dare.
Hey, T-Mac, I bet you 3 cheeseburgers you won't race across that backstretch. Damn.
He timed that well. If he'd have run much slower, he'd have been done.
So it's almost like the sprint car video we showed before where you think you can make it. That's why people get killed on the highway all the time. Their car breaks down. They see the cars way down the road. Well, I can make it across and don't realize how fast 140, really is here in Canada. All right. Keep them coming, Spence. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. So this looks like a ride and drive, Adam. Whether the guy lost control, not sure, but even this guy, he just drives by like, okay, I guess we're headed to the track. Well, the car's just totaled.
Thumbs up.
Show that again, Spencer. I can't explain it. Not sure what happened.
Nope.
But gas instead of brake, maybe, I don't know. All right, moving on. I just thought that was pretty wild. We got some wild crashes here tonight. Keep them coming. Okay, look at this guy, Adam. Beautiful old vintage car. Right? Let me see what you know. Do you know something about this video?
Not really.
Okay, play it again, Spencer, but I want you to look at his apparel. He's got a fire suit and flip-flops. What's the freaking point, bro? Watch. Oh, at the end, he's wearing flip-flops with his fire suit. What's the point? And then he gets in the car. How do you not wear socks and shoes with your fire
I
suit?
think Gary Collins calls them Portuguese work boots.
All right. Do you have the cars like that racing now, Spencer? I know I'm probably throwing them out of order. I don't even know how they look on your screen as we wait.
I don't even know what kind of magic.
Send anything.
No chance you could ever catch him. We know 15 seconds between them. Round he rotates. And he's dropped it coming out of the... And, well, he's hit the tire wall and he's bounced back from that. And Mark Ward was already out checking his car, but the chase was on. The chase is over, so that's a huge relief because obviously you do exit these cars.
Did you see how, like, these cars
precisely
slingshot you right over? Like, you're playing with death in these vintage cars.
15 seconds between them. Round he rotates. And he's dropped it coming out of
It looked like a soft landing on the tire wall.
Well, he's hit the tire wall and he's bounced back.
I promise you feel that tomorrow. He forgot his rope. He wasn't tied in. All right, whatever we got left, Spencer.
Now you can call all the action from the track in your living room. Bring home the excitement with the official GeForce TV action figure crew. Each figure comes fully equipped with headset accessories, track flags, and all the personality of the booth. Because now the race doesn't start until you say it does. GeForce TV action figures. Start your imagination. He's fast, he's fearless, he's the O-Sweekin Flyer, Glenn Stiers. Blast off with the GSR Sprint Racer, complete with removable wing and checkered flag power. Collect them, race them, live the legend. Put a smile on the racer in your family. Glenn Stiers is ready to roll.
Can we see ours again, Clinton, please?
Yeah, you got ripped off.
Now you can call all the action from the track in your living room. Bring home the excitement with the official GeForce TV action figure crew. Each figure comes fully...
Looks more like Daniel than you.
Actually, the first look at me looked just like me, I thought, and then it doesn't.
GeForce TV action figure.
Yeah,
Your crew. Each figure comes fully equipped with headset accessories, track flags, and all the personality of the booth. Because now the race doesn't start until you say it does. GeForce TV action figures.
Yeah, that's good. Too funny. Yeah, you should have came with a slice of pizza, and I should have came with a Pepsi. But no, I thought it was funny. Abby started off my Monday morning with that, which is always good. You know, I saw the trend going around the weekend. And I was so sick of it. I'm like, oh man, can we just see this AI bullshit go away? And then he made one of us, and they were animated and everything. It was cool. Yeah, Greg needs cheese curds. Wow, Randy really pays attention. The fact he knows Greg should have cheese curds is impressive. All right. Ice cream cone and cheese curds. Just bust on Greg. I got to get AI to do that thing about Greg like I had it talk about you. How many more we got, Spencer? Just send it. 6 of them. Okay, so see what's going on here. Look at these guys, Adam. Right through the town. Everybody's just lined up alongside of the road. Shit starts falling off the bikes. They start crashing. This is like South America or something like that. Oh, he fails. But, like, look at the edge sticking out. The tree, like, it's just a death waiting to happen. All right, that's good. I just thought it's crazy these guys race through the towns like that.
That's gnarly.
And there's a couple more videos coming up where they race through the town, and it's pretty insane. Roll it, man. This one.
Mira. Otro.
So he just destroyed someone's house because he crashed into it.
Well, they shouldn't have put it there.
The house?
Yeah. Who builds a house on a racetrack?
I was thinking the exact same thing. How dare they? But everybody clips it on the way through. Or hits something. Alright, go to the next one, Spence. Another house. And they all keep plowing into it. Why can't we call races like that? Oh, he took out the garage. You can't park there, as Nathan says. All right. Keep them coming, Spence. I know Adam believes in natural selection, but I need to hear fans say, you shouldn't stand at the fence. Show it one more time why you shouldn't stand at the fence. Craziness. It's race season. Don't stand at the fence. 2 to go. We got popsicle sticks, Adam. Here we come.
7, 6, 5, 4.
Peter Britton with the baby reveal. I'm not a fan of the baby reveal. I mean, it's like the AI action figures. It's overdone too much. But if you have to have a baby reveal, and your name's Batman. But look at the way they did it. That was a powerful, like, it's a girl! Look at how much paint comes out of that. Play it again, Spence. I think Spencer threw it right in the garbage as soon as we're done. Like, don't eat that shit no more.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was good volume. That means it's going to be a strong baby girl. All right. One more.
Friends, your sponsors, and all the people that bring you here to Millbridge Speedway.
I think my mama, dad, God, and all the pretty mamas.
All the pretty mamas are getting a shout out.
Come on, Dad had to put him up to that, right?
Oh, you would think so.
Doesn't Postman have a distinct?
Doesn't Postman have a distinct voice?
Oh, there's no way you're not going to know it's Steve Post. You know. Thanks everybody for hanging around. You know what, Adam? I felt shit all day, as you know, but you guys make me feel better. This hour is very therapeutic, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. It's good. Brian, to answer your question, you can buy tickets ahead of time. Go to the Australian Speedway website, top banner, click on it. You can also get them at the gate on race day. We'll make sure we got tickets available. Anything else you want to say, Adam, before we go? Spencer, thank you for everything. Great job this weekend. Thanks to Dan. Our whole crew was fantastic.
Yeah, there is something I'd like to say before we go. Way to use AI. You've known me for 25 years and you can't come up with 5 chirps? That's piss poor. That is piss poor.
I was swimming upstream alone last week. Dying. So
you throw me under the bus, but you do it in the laziest way possible.
those were good freaking chirps. Dude, next week I'll reiterate because we're getting really late here, but they were good.
They were
some
cute.
of them.
It's good.
Some of them were right on the button. Get out to the racetracks this weekend. Start supporting the sport we love. It's race time. Whether you're dirt, pavement, it's go time. We'll see you around. Ush, we can practice next Friday already. So it
See you
is
this
happening.
weekend.
We appreciate everybody being with us.
See you next week.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you, Spencer. Ciao.